Hi guys, it's Danny from Outsidein, and this is my friend Miranda, and we are going to be interviewing Ross Moffat, who is been leading the Outsidein street team for the past roughly 2 or 3 years. We love him because he is just super passionate, and he's definitely like changed the dynamic of the team and just really sets the bar high for what we can do as a street team with Outsidein.
Yeah, we're excited for you to meet him and enjoy.
Okay, so my name is Ross Moffat, and throughout my time with Outsidein, I feel I have worn several different hats. From the very beginning, I suppose I should maybe introduce how it came about, my relationship with Outsidein. I ran a music promotion in Belfast and was doing a showcase to raise funds for the homelessness. We had it on national radio, we were on television, it was well promoted. Then a mutual friend of David, the founder, and I sort of said, look, you guys should hook up. And um, then David sort of said, yeah, let's do that, and started selling stuff at the show. The headline act sort of wore some stuff on stage, and it was great. And then David and I got on really well. And it was right around the time that the Christmas market in Belfast was coming, and I sort of offered my services to do a few shifts at the market just to help out, just as another pair of hands. And then just totally fell in love with it. And from that, I have been to Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dublin, Los Angeles, Belfast, everywhere it feels like, with David, trying to promote and share the message of Outsidein, and promote it and move it along. And I have a 9 to 5 day job as well. So as time has went on, that day job, I got promoted through there. So my time that I could give to Outsidein streetwear started to fade a little bit. So we had to reevaluate where my skill set lay and where I could bring most to the table. And it was sort of clear that streetwear and the fashion was not my thing, as you can tell, a few grey hairs, and it's not really my thing. But I was very passionate about the message and how we could help people and how we could genuinely, as a collective unit, help rewrite homelessness. So I offered my services to David to head up the street team.
Great.
So for those who don't know, what the street team do is that when a consumer buys a product from Outsidein, there's a second product that is given, and they can either choose to do that themselves or they can ask that we do it. Now, we would obviously, as you know, Danny, do that with a number of registered charities up and down the United Kingdom and across in America as well, Miranda now. But what we do is boots on the ground, is that we actually go and distribute the products to those in the street. And yeah, that's what I do in a nutshell, I suppose. And it's
No,
fantastic.
that's amazing. So
You have a few kids too, just so we can get like some personal info about you.
Yeah, I've two children. I've a young boy, two young boys, 6 and 3 years old, and they are amazing. They love Outsidein as well. They love coming up to the warehouse, and they love David, and they love just the whole concept of it. And even, there was one time that I was taking my eldest boy to a wrestling event in Belfast, and we came across one of the guys that I would know on the street. And Matthew had money to go into the shop to buy himself sweets and stuff. He said, Daddy, can I give that man money? And I said, it's okay, son. Daddy looks after him. Anyway, he's fine. But at 6 years old, well, at that time, 5, it was great to see that what I'm doing is already resonating with what they want to do. So it was amazing.
That is amazing. That is awesome. You're paving the way for your kids.
Yeah, hopefully so.
yeah, and you briefly spoke on like you were helping to run this event, and then from the event you kind of met some of the Outsidein team, you met David, and then you just got involved. So I think the beauty of social impact is that we, whoever participates in it, are able to help vulnerable people, but specifically in this field with rough sleepers or the homeless community. What is the why behind why you're passionate about it, or like why this field?
And that sort of evolved for me, and it was only by showing by doing. David showed me the way to engage with the guys in the street. Because normally, like most of society will walk past these guys or girls in the street and not give it a second thought. Is when I heard what David was so passionate about it, and his reason why, and the fact he tells a terrific story about how this all started. And he met a man in Edinburgh, and the chap in Edinburgh said to him at 5 o'clock on one of the busiest streets in Europe, you're the first person to speak to me all day. That really resonated with me, and I thought, wow, is that real? So as even whilst transitioning from, you know, being more involved outside, and from that initial meeting, I tried it. I stopped and I listened to their stories on the street, and I heard about them, and I fell for their character, and I helped where I could. And I thought, okay, now I get it. Now I know how to do this. And as this has evolved more and more and more, it's now not just something I think I should do. I know it's something I was built to do. I am meant to do this. I am supposed to help maybe help themselves because they maybe don't have the resources, the network, the skills, whatever. I've been very fortunate in my life that I've developed those skills and things, but that's only due to circumstances. Other people who find themselves on the street have maybe found themselves there through different circumstances. So are they better than me? Nope. Do they deserve my help? Well, if I can give it, then yes. We as Outsidein have had many slogans on our streetwear, and you know, Hope Sweet Hope is a massive one. But before all of that, there was one that said all equals. I don't know if you remember that. It really resonated with me, and I got it tattooed on my wrist.
Oh wow! I had no idea.
So
I've never before seen footage.
and it's, you know, that was done intentionally because it's my right hand. So the first thing that I do when I reach out to somebody is put my hand out and shake their hand, and the first thing that they will hopefully see and feel is that we are all equal. And I believe that, or else I wouldn't have put it on my body.
Yeah, I think something really cool, and this is something that when I first got initially introduced to the company, is that with this idea of being all equal, it was this like beautiful depiction of you can wear something and you have like a piece of merch, but you also see someone who's homeless like wearing it as well, and it didn't matter status or matter where you were from. It's that was what connected you, that it wasn't about I could afford this or I couldn't. It was all of us wearing the same thing, which I thought was beautiful.
The thing that cemented all of this for me, and it's not too dissimilar story to David's, is that when we went to Glasgow and then we went to Edinburgh. I don't know why, it was part of whatever event it was at the time. But we met a man on the street who was clearly a vulnerable adult. He was, you know, he actually didn't know why he was homeless. He was he didn't have all of his faculties, unfortunately, and he's a lovely man. And sometimes he was allowed to stay in the hostel, but he couldn't stay in the hostel in the beds. They put him in a broom cupboard to keep him safe. That's how vulnerable he was. They just sort of sheltered him for a little while. But when we give him hats and wash gear and blankets, and there is footage of it somewhere. You should get it from Jed. Of this man's smile. It was like we had given him the winning lotto tickets. It was the fact that we had embraced the time and we sat with him, and it was amazing. It was actually a really touching moment, super touching.
Wow.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
And
amazing. Yeah.
So can you kind of explain to us like what you've done with Outsidein, like on the street team and everything?
Yeah, so it started off that, you know, obviously as Outsidein, it was as a growing social enterprise, all hands were on the decks in terms of making the merch and the idea of Outsidein, developing that was nothing to do with me. That's all David Johnson's vision, and that was fine. I helped wee bits here and there where I could, and if he needed to bounce ideas. So, but what the core of Outsidein is empowering people to help. And we can't empower people to help if we won't be willing to do it ourselves. So our suggestion through a conversation David and I had one day is like, we need to be consistent. We need to be the face of the, you know, and we don't wear high vises, we don't wear lanyards, we don't wear uniforms that are authoritarian. So the guys and the girls in the street automatically connect with us, you know, because we speak like them, we look like them, we're sitting with them, and we can help. But we can only help by building trust. And we can't build trust by being out once every 6 months and saying hello. We have to be there a couple of times, 3 times a week. And that was my idea, that I wanted to be, you know, so that heaven forbid, if they really needed me, that they knew that I was going to be there on a Monday and a Thursday. They knew that I was going to be there at such and such a time and such a date, because if they didn't have access to a telephone or they couldn't connect me via email, that they knew that I was going to pass them by. That was so important to me, because then we can tell the stories of what actually happens on the street, real life accounts, not third-hand tales. And hopefully that will, like David's story resonated with me, maybe one of my stories will resonate with Danny, which might resonate with you, Miranda, which might, you know, and that's how the chain of events should work. And that's what we're doing, and we're building that. And we've helped people, goodness me, we've prevented suicides, we've helped people fill out visa applications, we've got people in the drug rehabilitation centres, we've got people finding back their faith, we've just got people clean clothes, we've done whatever it takes, we've reconnected people to their families. But more important than any of that is, I believe, that we've instilled hope back into these people. We've instilled the notion that they are worth something more than what people look at down on them on the street. They believe in their own self-worth. They've just forgotten it. We've just brought it back out on them.
Yeah. So let's say like a night out on the street with your team, and you like said it perfectly, that you want to invoke hope, you want to give them back this type of hope.
Yeah.
I know that you probably have stories for days, and you have You know people's names, and just kind of people who've impacted you, not only you've impacted them. If you were to give us kind of one occurrence or one event or maybe one story of when you were on the street one time and then something happened and it just changed the game for you, and you learned something, maybe you helped someone else.
I'll go at a slightly different angle. I'll give you two, actually. Yeah, I'll start off with the bad one. There was a guy called Stuart who David and I met years ago, and Stuart was sleeping rough on the streets. He was a chef, so we found out that he was a chef, and we asked him what his aspirations were, and it's little simple nuances. You start talking to them about it. Do you miss it? Yeah, I do. What was your favorite thing to cook? And you can see them look up and recall what their favorite thing to cook was, and you start to instill that. But as time went on, we were able to encourage Stuarty to get off the street and seek the correct channels to get help. So he was off the street for, we knew that we couldn't take him from the street straight into a restaurant. That's just not how the real world works. So we knew that we had to stage this. Now, unfortunately, Stuart had a drug problem, so we knew that we had to get him housed somewhere that would help him with that. Yeah. And through our chats and through contact, he was able to get himself up and into a hostel, which was a managed hostel. But unfortunately, Stuart was starting to come through, and him and I were starting to make real waves, and I was connecting them to counsellors and things like that. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save Stuarty. He overdosed the day after his birthday. The day of his birthday, I had taken him to meet a friend of ours who had done a play about rough sleeping, and Stuart's voice and narrative was used as part of that play. I got that news as I walked around my route and was found. There's a guy called Mackers, and he said, "Did you hear about Stuarty?" I was like, "No." He says, "He died last night. He OD'd." And you can't react because you're trying to help the man who's telling you this information. And you've arrested the route to connect, and you've got your street team behind you who are looking to you for guidance. But that really, really, really put me on my heels. That it nearly brought me down to a knee. But like in all of this, there's always a silver lining. There's connected to this story. There was a young lady called Maria, and I've tried to help Maria for years. Tried to engage with her. She's a heroin addict. She doesn't look at me in the face. She knows that I'm there. Sometimes she'll nod at me. Sometimes she'll squeeze my hand to acknowledge me. But I always make sure that she's comfortable. I always make sure she's looked after. But that night, we found Maria, and she was in tears, and she just started openly speaking and opened up to everything. I was so upset about Stuarty, but knew that we were connected to Stuarty, who was able to talk to us about him, because we weren't authoritarian and we weren't going to get her in trouble. But she needed a release. We were that release. And there's a girl, Ali, on the street team, who she just took Ali to one side and spoke to Ali for maybe 2 hours. But at the end of that, we were able to put her in a cab and send her back to her mother's house, which had never happened in 2 years. Every cloud has a silver lining. Okay, so that was the rough, and that's the reality. But out of that reality, there's always a good. You just have to find it. Now back to my longer term victory, I suppose. There was a young guy called Jason, who's from Southern Ireland, and Ali and I had met him again a few years ago. And long story short, after him trying, he came to us and said, "I'm done. I am done with these drugs. I want off them. I need your help. I need to go to rehab." And Mark Shields in our street team had actually offered to pay for the rehab up front himself. And luckily, we didn't need to do that. We sought the correct channels. We went through the processes. We got Jason connected to the right people, and that's a process that's ongoing. So Jason will be in part of rehabilitation. But that's taken genuinely 24 months. These things don't happen in 2 days. I wish they did. I wish they happened in 24 hours, but they don't. But that's the whole importance of consistency, because Jason came to me and said, I'm done. I want off these. He came to Mark Shields and said, I'm done. I want off these drugs. So we helped him. Sturdy came to me and said, I'm done. I need your help. But only because we were able to go and meet these people. And we can only go and meet these people because of the consumers who buy the Outsidein streetwear allow us to give us the tools in the toolbox so that we can go fresh with new products that we can help them donate. If we don't have that, we don't have that initial icebreaker. If we don't have that initial icebreaker, we miss the opportunity to create a network. And that's an opportunity that missed is an opportunity completely wasted.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And what do you say after that?
Sorry, I hope you haven't bummed you out.
No, not at all. So, but I think that giving people, whoever's going to watch this, an inside look is so important, because it's more than just what you might see on media or what you just, you might see in a quick little like glimpse on like a Facebook story or an Instagram story, that there's so much more depth. And like, thank you for sharing just a glimpse of that, because I know there's probably so much more than that.
Yeah, there is, but I'm conscious of everybody's time. I don't want to waste it. But yeah, there's a million stories like that. But again, they all start with the beginning, and the beginning is, hello, my name is Ross from Outsidein, and that's it. Or hello, my name is Mark. Hello, my name is Danny. Or whoever it is part of that. And that's not just our street team. That's the whole point of Outsidein. That's the empowerment behind it. And if anybody's watching this and who's chosen to buy our product but not to donate themselves, I would challenge you to do it just once. The guy that you walk past on the way to school, the girl you walk past on the way to work, you will make their entire day by stopping and saying, hey, how are you? My name is such and such. I bought this and thought of you.
Wow.
Imagine someone brought you something. Miranda, imagine David just brought you something and said, saw this and thought of you. Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine when somebody has nothing and is feeling so worthless and someone says, I seen this and thought of you.
Yeah.
You want to bring back hope? Man, I've done it in quicker than a hiccup.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Beautiful. Perfectly worded.
Yeah.
And so we have a good amount of time, I think, still.
Okay.
So could you chat us through like what a normal night out on the street looks like from start to finish?
Yeah, so we all, pardon?
Like a logistical standpoint.
Yeah, so in Belfast is cute because it's a real small city that you can walk around, which is fantastic. So we don't have to divide it up too much. You can walk around the city centre in quite a short period of time. So what we'll do is we'll meet at the bottom, outside in a car park, and what we'll have pre-arranged is how many are going out, because Belfast is such a small city. We don't want it to become a zoo, so we don't want 25 volunteers coming out looking at 3 guys, all at once. So we divvy that up, and we wrote who's going out at what night. We'll have already had the given products in somebody's car. What we'll do is we'll come back, we'll do the same route. We literally walk from the bottom right through, past the city centre, past City Hall, round up, past the train stations, past the Opera House, right up to where the students live, circle right back down the other end, come back down the other side of City Hall. Now, there's no 2 nights the same. I've been guilty of getting right up to the point where the Opera House is, which is, nearly halfway through the route, and saying to the guys, I think it's going to be quiet tonight. And then boom, everything kicks off and it's just something wild happens. Or, you think you're going to be busy because you've maybe met, 4 or 5 people and you haven't even got past the first stop yet. And you think, well, I'm going to be inundated. And then suddenly it's quiet. So there's no 2 nights the same, but I wouldn't change that, and I think that it's great for our street team to go out together, because as much as I'm busy, they're busy too. So it's good to, sometimes that walk, that release, and I suppose that sense of perspective when they're helping other guys and girls is good for our street team. It's as good for anybody as it is for the guys and the girls on the street. And when you challenge someone to unlock something inside themselves, you'd be surprised at what comes out. I can look at the whole street team and see what their strengths are. But if I put them in a room and said, tell me what your strengths are, they wouldn't have a clue. But when conversations naturally arise with the guys and the girls in the street, and I know that Ali can help, or David can help, or I can help, or Mark or Jimmy or whoever, then I will point that conversation. I'll be like, Mark, do you want to talk to this guy? Or, everybody has their strengths. My job, I suppose, is to be like central midfielder, or if you're in America, a quarterback. I just point where you need to go, boom, 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 and I'll step in where I need to be.
Wow.
So that's it. Yeah, it's a. But we give out the products, and we liaise with a lot of other charities, homeless charities within the city, because they have better resources to do certain things than we will. For example, there's a welcome an organization called the Welcome Organization, and they have a bus. So if somebody's in dire need and I can't get an ambulance, but I need to get them to the hospital, I can call the Welcome Organization and then get the bus. They'll literally drive a van to us, pardon me, and take the guys or girls away, or emergency accommodations, or extern, or the SOS. So we're all connected, and we're all able to help. Sometimes in Belfast there's street stalls that would hand out food, so we will go and donate some clothing to those, because we know that we could walk that whole city, but everybody's collected there. So why would we not box clever? Why would we not stand beside one of these street carts and make sure that everybody gets fed and clothed and helped all at the same time, whilst helping the organization who are delivering the food? So it's about working together and working smarter, rather than claiming that we can do this all by ourselves, because with the best will in the world, I would love to say that we can solve this ourselves, but we can't. We need help, and we need help from everybody, from government to our consumers who are buying our products, to people who just have other ideas. Just if anybody thinks they can bring something to the table, I'd love to hear from them, just see what they can do.
That's good.
No, yeah. Sorry. No, and then I just feel like, Danny, like, this on a deeper level, because I know that you you work with the social impact team of Outsidein, and you collaborate with all these different charities. And then I think Ross said it perfect, that we're partnering with people, and we're helping each other to help others, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So honestly, you're right, we can't do this on our own. And like, all the charities like that help us, or all the charities that partner with us, like, if they do get a glimpse of this interview, like, a big thank you to them, because they put in the hard work, and they've also really made themselves available so they can also help people.
Yeah, I would like to second that. I think that the work that those guys do, especially here in Ireland, is unreal. We would love to be able to help out more and more. And as we grow, as Outsidein as a collective umbrella term, we will continue to help more and more. So yeah, I would second that. Thank you very much, guys, for your help.
Yeah, I've just seen amazing things that charities have been doing. Like Storehouse in Belfast. I don't know if you know them, Ross, but they have just like cool little things that they've been doing, like doing cooking classes and stuff like that, little art classes, just trying to keep engaged. And then they have I can't remember what they call it. It's like Family Feast or something like that, where I think it's like a Monday night where like anybody is welcome to come, just to find community. And then they all sit at like a really long table and eat together. So it's just kind of like, finding people that, they're trying to connect other people that might be going through the same thing, or that, can mentor or whatever, walk through it with them. Connect them together. So yeah, there's just, I really do appreciate and love all the charities that we work with. But leading into our last question, Ross, what do you think the future of the street team looks like?
It's going to develop. It has to develop. We've got some extraordinarily skilled people in that team, from teachers to salesmen to everybody in between, graphic designers, students. But the common theme is they're passionate and they're super intelligent. Everybody apart from me, they're all hyper intelligent. The same, right? And we've got a goal, and we've got a strap line in Outsidein. It's called Rewriting Homelessness, and people often ask us what that is. Well, it's very, very simple. It's re-education, rehoming, and reskilling. So it's just about getting people back to work. It's getting people back to education, and it's getting people back in their home. Now we know that this is a process. So as the street team evolves, and as we're able to establish more routes, beg your pardon, we're going to take that process and make it a real life thing. We started it, we've trialed it. David's actually hired a few people from this course, from this strategy, then outside in. So we've been able to touch it. We're going to create a blueprint, and once we get that blueprint right, and once it's correct, then we're going to roll that out city by city by city, and then hopefully that gets picked up across the world. And this problem is a man-made problem, so there's a man-made solution.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to put our shoulder to the wheel and get it done. But again, we'll only be able to do that with the help of the charities that we're working alongside with. We're only going to be help with the consumers who continue to support us as Outside In, because their support is massive. The empowerment of those guys to go out and distribute that is brilliant. But the support they're also giving us as a business and organisation to grow, the bigger we are, the more we can help. Mm-hmm. So I just can't thank the consumers enough for this. I think that anybody who supports this should know that it's a real thing. You're always going to come across haters. I love the haters. I love answering the questions, because I got all the answers, because we're living it. Mm-hmm. So if you don't believe this is the real deal, just give me a shout, and I will certainly take 45 minutes of your time and tell you how it's the real deal. So there's no problem. So, I think that rewriting homelessness in 2021 will be massive. That's when we're really going, because obviously as the world sits at the minute. And again, as the world sits at the minute, this is a perfect opportunity. We've had to flex and bend, and Danny and Mark and stuff have done a great job with changing the wear one, share one to the wear one with the delivery, which gives the free food out, which it's flexing the approach, but the ethos is still the same. You're still helping. Mm-hmm. And challenging times, that's what we need to do. We need to adapt, and we need to think about how we can. It's not about Outside In and the people who are running Outside In. It's about the people that we're trying to help. How do we flex that there? And I think that as a collective team, there's no better team on the planet. And I've worked with some of the world's largest organizations in terms of in the motor industry, from Mercedes-Benz and things like that. There is no better team that I've been a part of than the one on Outside In. Fact.
We appreciate that. And we really do appreciate you. I love getting all the messages of ideas that you have into the street team WhatsApp, and just seeing where your passion is. And I know that you're such a good leader who's, you're leading everybody into creating new ideas and stuff like that. I don't know if you think you're creative, but I know that you are, because just seeing the stuff that you come up with that we can do to pull people off the streets is just amazing. And we really do appreciate everything that you do with Outside In.
So. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say.
And I second that too. I feel like this is probably going to get cut off the interview. I don't know. We'll see if Jen or Jack put it in or not. But I know that especially people I know who are passionate, which you exude that you're definitely passionate about this, is that you don't do it for a thank you. You don't do it to be recognized. You don't do it because you want your face plastered on a screen. But again, a big thank you, because even though that's not the goal of yours, it's good for you to know that people notice the hard work that you put in, and people notice that the amount of sacrifices you put in. You work, you have kids. Oh, I think one of them might make a little debut. Oh, yes! I went first. Hello.
This is Amanda and Danny. This is Matthew.
Hi, Matthew.
This is perfect. But yes, a big thank you. And even thank you for taking your time out to do the interview with us.
Appreciate it. So no, look, there's more to come. So let's hope that we can tell part 2 of this story sometime.